John Sicotte, executive editor of the Brewer Magazine. Welcome to another edition of the Brewer Magazine podcast. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to either YouTube or Spotify to keep up weekly with the Brewer Magazine podcast. And of course, 24 hours a day, we're available at brewermag.com. And we're sponsored by Square. Square keeps every corner of your brewery moving, from orders and payments to staff and data. Square helps you manage it all so you can focus on the good stuff. See how Square can help your business at square.com/good stuff. We're also sponsored by Keg Logistics. You can go to keglogistics.com for more details. Well, I always like to stop in and chat face-to-face when I'm in a new town. I was in Chicago for CiderCon 25, but I also wanted to get some beer coverage in. So I had a chance to talk with Sketchbook Brewing's Cesar Marron while there back last February, and we chatted about sustainability and community partnerships, two pillars that the Evanston and Skokie, Illinois brewery has been working on, along with making great beer, of course, as they are working towards achieving B Corp status. You can read The Last Pint from our March-April 2025 issue called Despite Urban Settings, Sketchbook Builds Sustainability Goals, and learn more from this archive chat we have here on the Brewer Magazine podcast. This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now is the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency. First, I think you guys won a business award at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's right there.
What does that? I mean, it's for the area, right? Like
that is
Skokie.
a Skokie Business of the Year award.
Yeah.
So Amy and I, my wife, who's over there, we went to go get it at to receive it at Village Hall, and that was a big deal. I mean, they have a whole consortium of people that picks up the businesses they want to suggest. And there's a criteria. I don't know what those criteria is, and then it goes up to public voting. So they put boxes everywhere in town. There was one here too. And so last year, So Good, who's, they're in our space now, like as a resident coffee shop, if you will. They're working on their space on Main Street, just about a mile or so east of here. They won the Business of the Year, and then 2024 we did. So it was that, and I've gotten at least half a dozen congratulations just walking on the street, kind of like, what? Oh, right, okay. So now it's a little more like, now I know when people are talking about it. It's like, okay, that's pretty neat. I think Evanston's the same way. We're urban, suburban, I like to say, right? We're not Chicago, but we're so close. Everything it's not far burbs. But it still has that little small town kind of feeling sometimes.
Sure.
And people, especially people that have been here for a while, they want to call it their own, which why shouldn't they? So they're very happy when that happened. Like if we have Skokie on a shirt, that's going to fly out of here much faster than if you just say Sketchbook.
Right.
So it's kind of nice to be part of that.
Cool.
Sort of
so that was something
fabric.
that was a like you didn't apply for it, like they put you up for it, and you're like, oh. So I mean, that's an honor.
And I don't know how many contestants were there or contestants. Again, we don't apply for it. We're nominated by a board, like a civilian board that they pick up. The people can come in and out of it, and there's several criteria. And I learned during the process of receiving the award that part of the criteria is is being a place that engages with the community and a place, business that cares about the environment. And on top of that, we had just received the Illinois Green Business Certification award.
Right.
And I know there are other businesses that are doing really, really well in that arena as well, of sustainability and environmental practices. But we were the ones that I picked this up. It's a little bit of a passion of mine too. Just since I can't control a lot of things that happen here, we're smaller. I just plow through, and we got a grant from
I saw that
from Cook County.
Yep.
Department of Sustainability. It's called Bright. Bright's the name of the grant, and that kind of like just sort of snowballed into a bunch of other things that were wonderful to be part of, and a lot of places, a lot of cities, a lot of towns are putting a lot of effort on sustainability, environmental sustainability at the very least, with plans. And I think it was great to show that leadership. We've held several meetings here with other businesses, with some of the people from the Cook County DES and CDAC, which is another organization. It's like designed for energy and more environmentally.
Okay.
So whether it's solar panels and gas, but they help a lot. So that kind of put us on the sort of like on the forefront as well.
Nice.
And I think at least talking to the Illinois Green Business Association, we were the first brewery to receive that certification. It's a lengthy process. It's kind of like, it gets us actually closer to, which is part of my goal for this year, is to look into becoming a B Corp. I know it's going to take a lot, but we already have a lot of those pillars, and this was one of the big ones. It's kind of like showing that we are, by obtaining a certification, kind of helps tremendously.
Yeah, and it's so hard when you first start. You're just trying to get the beer out the door, so you finally have that point in your career as a business owner to be like, now we can focus on the things that make this better, make it better for the community, streamline processes, make people see this is what we care about. Was that like, I mean, it's probably been at the forefront for you, just knowing that it takes process, or did you kind of come across this?
No, you hit the nail on the head about being able to. We just turned 10 years in November of 2024. Obviously not the location in Skokie. This one was 2020, but it started in 2014 in Evanston. And yes, just doing everything. Sean and I were we had no employees. We had no tap room really at the beginning. So that whole journey, from then to now, which of course some people do it differently. Some people just go out for get a big, huge loan or a bunch of investors, and boom, you start bigger already. Yeah. We didn't do that for many reasons, but we like to say like we started organically, not by design but by necessity.
Sometimes that's the smart way.
Would I have done it differently? A lot of times I say yes, because I saw how much less stressful it was when we built Skokie, the Skokie location. We basically had a commercial real estate helping us look for the building. We had lawyers looking at our paperwork. We had because we got a loan and did all that, let's say the proper way. Air quotes the proper way. Not that we did anything improper, but in Evanston, when we started, it was just like, hey, we can make this happen. Let's get another tank to make beer. And then it was me brewing and Sean, and we were doing invoices, we were doing deliveries when we were not brewing, and we were packaging, and then we got our first employee, and then we got the tap room open. So everything was just so, like, in some ways, it's for the young people. I can say that now that I'm, almost 48. But yes, we grew organically, and finally, when we started, when we were able to actually be, I guess, successful enough in terms of, the company itself, that I was able to form a team that I'm very proud of. I've always been very proud of everyone that passed through here, but I'm able to actually sit back and say, like, my brewery team got it. My sales team's got it. My taproom team's got it. Right?
Yeah.
I'm involved in all of them, but I know that I don't need to be behind the bar, and also be on the brew house all the time, or else we won't have product. So that freed up a lot more time to actually engage with these fronts.
Nice. That
were always so important from the beginning. Sustainability being one of them. Our first part, piece of it was getting our spent grain out of the landfill from day one. And it's kind of interesting thinking about it now, having flashbacks. The first one was loading the grains in the van and donating it to a urban farm here in Skokie. And then when that stopped, we hooked up with a farmer and a chicken farmer, and then he would come by and get it. But that wasn't. And we started brewing more, and then we couldn't count on the guy coming in often enough. So then we had our pitfalls here and there. Went back to the trash collection, but we never wanted that to happen. Had some trouble with the city of Evanston at the time, because we were collecting that in those big IBC totes, which most breweries do. But since we're in such an urban area, one of our neighbors took beef with that and said, no, we can't do that. And then we got fined by the health department because we didn't have our grains in a trash container. I'm like, this is not trash. So I went to go fight it.
Oh, jeez. It's a learning process for them as well.
I pointed out to them, I said, like, you want us to, businesses to do right for the environment, but now here you are fining me $1,000 for trying to do that. They knocked it down to 500.
I was going to say, did you get it cleared up at least?
But we never stopped, right? I mean, that was something that we always wanted to continue doing it, and it's still a struggle, to be honest, because for a small business, that's all additional cost. Mm-hmm. To get a company to come in and haul our grains from here to the proper location, so it's composting or animal feed, costs way more than to dump it in the trash. Unfortunately, that's the time we live in right now.
Right.
So we invested on that. We got some funds now to help invest us on. We still invest a lot of our own time. Mm-hmm. On that particularly, I take the grains to 2 different farms once or twice a week. Mm-hmm. So that's my time, but I'm able, like I said before, like I have a team. I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
And see this, this happening.
Nice. What other things are sustainability wise? Do you want to? You talk solar panels. Obviously, that's something.
Yeah, we have a whole plan with that came out of the Bright program, which I must preface with this too. I'm part of a sustainability committee with the Illinois Brewers Guild. We meet once in a while and try to just disseminate information from that I learned, that other breweries learn, to other breweries, just kind of get engagement from people. We can all do something. That something depends on the business.
Right.
So when we got this assessment done by the Cook County DES, which is all IRA money, by the way, that the state got, they have a lot more. So they actually talk to me all the time. They're like, I want more. They want more breweries, more beverage and food businesses to engage because it's more interesting for them. So some of the things that came out of the list for us specifically was, it's all fossil fuel, like reducing fossil fuel dependency and usage, improving recyclability if possible, reducing energy use, unnecessary energy use, going with renewables if possible. So all of this, there's a laundry list of things that we're working on. And the first one was replacing our gas-powered truck with an electric truck. So they paid for an entire new pickup truck, which is great. I wouldn't be able to actually, say, convince anybody on my team that we need to spend, that much money just for spent grain removal.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. And then the other one is putting some solar panels towards the back of just for some portion of the electricity that we use. Through this, I learned a lot. Again, being very busy, wearing so many hats, the information doesn't fall in your head sometimes.
Right.
So I learned a ton with working with these people, and switched all of the source of our electricity to community solar. I didn't know it was that easy. It was just signing some contracts and boom, a few months later. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but basically, if you can't have solar panels on your property, or you're not there yet, you don't own the property, or you're in you're downtown Chicago where there's no way to put any solar panels. There's an Illinois website that points to companies that they've vetted out. And basically what they do is, in a nutshell, there are areas in the state that have a lot more space for solar farms. So someone invests on that. They take all the credits, the solar, the energy credits, but they need people to use that electricity. So we sign up for a piece of those farms. I think there's a percentage that you can get. And sign up for whatever it is. I don't know if it's year 12 month or month to month, or if it's many years. I didn't even look at that because it didn't matter. So now our electricity is coming from a green source and a renewable source. Just like if you were getting wind farm or your Evanston, as an example, they switch everyone unless you opt out to a green source. So same idea.
Okay. And
what you see back on your bill is you see that they take what is about 15% off of what you'd be paying if you paid your
regular electric
bill. So it's not as You don't get as many benefits as much benefits as if you had your own solar array, but you don't have to worry about installing all that, and if you have a lease and how that's going to work out.
Right.
And the main impetus here is to do the right thing for the environment.
Right.
It's not necessarily only save money. Right.
Right.
We're trying to do it without spending too much money, but the idea is not to make money out of it. So yeah, I think we're still seeing what that means right now, but we keep getting credits, and then that gets used when it's available, and of course, in the winter it's less. So and small little things that sometimes go by day to day and don't even think about it, like having our steam boiler on a timer so they can shut off on the weekends when it's unnecessary and turn it back on. So a little more complicated. We're working on with some engineers to see how that can be done, but it should be possible. So,
nice. Nice. What about like wastewater and effluent, gray water and all? There, you guys.
And this Brewer Magazine podcast is sponsored by Square. Square keeps every corner of your brewery moving, from orders and payments to staff and data. Square helps you manage it all so you can focus on the good stuff. See how Square can help your business at square.com/good stuff. And we thank Square for sponsoring the Brewer Magazine podcast. This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency.
So wastewater and
Getting better
effluent, it's they did a whole assessment on that too. We are still too small to actually benefit from any sort of cistern or any sort of like a collection. That you're going to have to go bigger. I mean, I think we closed last year with just shy of 5,000 barrels. I don't know what the number is.
I'm trying. John at Alchemist showed me their system when we were there, and it's cool, like how they were able to collect it and get it transported, and I think they use it for up in. I think it might be University of Vermont or one of the Vermont schools takes that and then spreads it on for fertilizer. Yeah. So
where we are here, the whole Chicagoland area, I think there's a number of water treatment plants or wastewater treatment plants, I should say. That's part of the Metropolitan Water District, Reclamation District, MWRD.
Okay.
Anybody from this area would know what I'm talking about, because we're also, every business that is intense in water and like breweries are, and effluent water is also going to be, if they didn't yet, when they're building, they're going to have, MWRD might be part of your permitting process. And depending on the size, your brewery is also going to be subject to use fees, because essentially I learned a lot about this because we're in conversations with MWID for projects like the one you talked about, where they could take our spent grains and potentially use that for their process and reduce phosphorus content, which they need. They are under some regulations to reduce it by 2027 or something like that. So we've been working with some of their engineers too. Half Acre. I was at a meeting a little while ago with the MWID people and Matt and some others from Half Acre, and they invited me to come over. So we as a brewery, we don't have to do anything because our volumes are not big enough yet. We don't send enough of the what's called a BOD down the drain that we need to worry about. And in fact, what I've heard from some of the MWRD people is that that's actually beneficial to the bugs, because it kind of helps them to create. It increases BOD, but that's what they need. They actually buy feed for their bugs anyway. So, and the bigger one is getting spent grain out of the landfill for almost any size brewery. And then if you're larger, I would say probably 20,000 barrels a year or larger, you can probably have a broker come get it, right? Have a trailer parked in here. But when you're below, like at our level or below, it's like, if you're really small, then you can take it to a farm. If you're in the middle, then it's a little harder to do because the hauling, the composters that we have around their business models are for smaller containers.
You're stuck in the middle where it's not.
But we're working with the village of Skokie and Evanston to, those things take time. to see if at some point in time we would have a similar franchise situation like they do, like we all enjoy. It's kind of a funny word when you think about trash. For like, our trash pickup and our recycling pickup, right? I mean, they negotiate those fees for 2, 3, 4 years, and then that's why we pay only a few $100 a month. So we want something similar for collecting organics as well at some point.
Nice. I guess the other thing is just, and again, it kind of goes back to winning something like the business award for Skokie and stuff, is just the partnerships. And, you're talking about Soul Good and stuff. I mean, was that, it's important to do that because you're a part of this community. You're not trying to sell beer to the whole city of Chicago. I mean, you want people to know about you and be able to come and try it. But at the same time, like, this is your friends and neighbors that are here. How important has, finding the right partnerships or developing those helped you guys become what you are now?
100%. I mean, it has helped tremendously, and I think that's more of a I don't know. I want to say it's more of a small business, community-focused business ordeal as opposed to like being a brewery that does that. I mean, but I say that, but I think almost every brewery that I've been to has that as part of as part of their fabric, which is like they are. Even if they didn't intentionally did that, they are part of the community. The community likes them. They hold community events. They have fundraisers and whatnot. So, but with our let's say our business partners, if you will, they were very important to us from the get-go because that's why we wanted to be in Evanston and then here. We reached out to them before we even built in some ways.
Nice.
Trying to strike partnerships and if nothing else, we're like when we were opening in Skokie, I went around bars and restaurants. There's not many, but we went around them and saying that we're here. We're gonna, we would like to do more things together. To also show that we're not here to steal your customers. Right. We're here to make Skokie or Evanston more interesting for other people to come in. People from Chicago, from people from nearby towns, or if they're traveling by, to stop in. So we've always valued our not only our customers but our business partners, our business relationships really highly, and including the Soul Good coffee here, which I think how did that happen? And I remember saying yes before even hearing the end of the sentence, when at the time our taproom manager said like, oh, Soul Good is they're looking for a location while they're opening, they're building their space, they're looking for a location to stay through the winter. They have a trailer, like a super cute trailer for the summer.
Oh, okay.
And then before that sentence was finished, it's like, they can come here, And because I knew it was not just something nice to, well, I'm going to go back a little, like when we were very small, and we still are, people like Jim Sibick from Revolution and the guys at Half Acre, and others, they never raised an eyebrow when we needed some questions, right? I mean, when I needed when I wanted somebody to test our beer for micro, and they have the labs, it's like, just come on over. So I've always felt like I wanted to do that too. So as soon as we were able to answer the question on the listserv that says like, hey, do you have a bag of wheat malt? I'm like, yes, we do now, because I was that guy asking, for the first few years. So similarly here, like being able to use our space, otherwise we'd be closed in the morning anyway. To have the coffee shop here, and it blew our minds, to be honest. I mean, the amount of community engagement that they have. That now we're kind of like together. I've seen people in line for coffee that says like, oh, I guess this is a brewery too, right? So I mean, we're gaining new customers from that relationship as well.
That's awesome. And how long has that been going on then?
Oh gosh, it's been going on for almost, I want to say, a year and a half.
Nice.
Now, yeah. And it's imminent. They're probably opening up in the summer or April. So we're going to be looking for another partner coming here. Hopefully, food stuffs, right? So that we can actually kind of help each other out in that sense. Yeah.
How does, like, obviously there's always so many different models of creation, and like you kind of got to have it your way here, because usually when you start, you're like, we'll be happy pour beer, unless you're like, we're going to sink a lot of money into a brew pub model and do all this stuff. Like, how has that changed for what Skokie is versus Evanston? Like, being able to have that extra space, bring in a coffee shop, look for a food partner or something.
I guess I'll start by saying, like, we were knew with that Skokie is going to be very different than Evanston from the get-go. Evanston is right across the L, the Purple Line, and the Metra. The density, population density is much higher in there because you're looking at buildings, not single houses like here, single family homes. We have a small space in there and a much bigger space here for people to gather with 30, 40 people. So what we see here, and I think the partnership is so good, space-wise, it's flourished so well because of that, is that there are times where there's 50 people here for a gathering, for coffee, and some will stay behind when we open at 2 o'clock for business.
Nice.
And they do have some foods, which kind of helps us not having to worry about having our frozen pizzas and on the menu all the time, because we are, per our license, we have something more than just like chips.
Okay.
So that's tremendous, and we partner with a lot of food trucks. We started out with food trucks in the Skokie Evanston area, Chicago, kind of like working on a spiral, and so we have probably a dozen of those food trucks and other businesses from the area that come in and do catering. I say catering because they use a little space that's not quite a kitchen, but they come with everything prepared already and serve out of there, or the food truck is outside. So it's not that we don't have to think about it. We vet it out and make sure that it's the right vendor for us, and they are bringing quality food for our guests. But it's much, in my mind, it's much better than trying to manage our own kitchen. At least not now. I don't have any inclinations of doing that.
This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency.